So now both of you can be feeling the same thing, which means that this person already has an expectation. You know, the fact that she said, I chose you, Marcus. I like the way you look, I like the way you dress, I like the way all that, right? That had nothing to do with you, though. That has something to do with what she desires.
That's right.
And if that was something that she, which means she already said that you are the man that I want. Or you are the man that I want you to be. Because this is what's in me. That had nothing to do with you. And guess what? It's vice versa. You're the woman that I want to meet. Because this is my expectation of the type of woman that I want. Right? Which means you're putting the positive, right, perfected foot up front. Right? And when you're thinking of that now, when you got her, now all of the positive things about you, they're just glaring now. They're just blooming, you know. And then especially don't let her be the look that you want. Now she's not only just the look that I want, she's the trophy that I want. This is what I want others to see when they see me. She is a representation of me. Brother, this is who I am. Look at her. Right? She bad, ain't she? Right? But then all of a sudden, but you had a question. So then all of a sudden, y'all, everything is, oh, you do that so perfect. Oh, you do that so well. Right? And it's nothing that she can do that's wrong. Because she bad. That's who I am. That's a representation of me. Well, again, remember, all that represents you, that you put forth, is not all the time really you. Right? It ain't all you sometimes. Because, again, you ain't let her know that hidden part. The hidden part that I'm not. Sometimes I am down on myself. Even though 1,000 people could have said, Stephen, man, you're a good-looking brother. You're all right. Right? But still there's enough in him saying, yeah, but I'm dealing with this. So what am I going back to relationship? So now we're both putting the positive foot up front. Right? And then you notice, and sometimes it's determined how long that honeymoon lasts until you start seeing some things that literally disappoint you. And remember, the greatest disappointment comes from false expectations. Right? So basically, if you say that's what you wanted, right? And in many cases, it comes from a false expectation. You don't expect to see anything else because she's doing what you expect. Until the real her and the real you. You keep a junky car.
All right, leave the cars alone now.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, and get this. It's not so much just the junky car, because even if it's the best foot forward, you don't have a junky. I'll clean your car for you.
See, that's the answer. That's the answer right there.
Okay.
That's the answer.
Right. I'll clean your car for you. Right? But now all of a sudden, no, baby, no, I'll what you need me to do for you, which means that now my expectation of her now is that whatever you can't do, baby, I'm your man.
All right now.
I'll do it.
I got some
Right? So now, but now all of a sudden, she starts disappointing you. Right? The disappointment is now that I done spent we should spend every waking moment together. Now all of a sudden when I call you, I can't get you. Right? And now all of a sudden, when I pick up the phone, oh. And now that begins to be a pattern. Now, Friday nights was our date nights. Now all of a sudden Friday nights, I got something to do. Right? Remember, all of the stuff that you had saying that you would do for this individual, it was up front, like, okay, because she meet all of my expectations. But what happens when she starts disappointing you on those levels? All of a sudden, your expectations do what? They're beginning to change. And maybe that's not what I want. And then I don't put my best foot forward. But you know what I did in many cases? I didn't put my best foot forward. I put my false foot forward. And when I put my false foot forward, because guess what? What if the reason why she's not answering and she's not wanting to spend the time is because now the real her is coming out? Or the hidden you that you had is coming out. Because we can't put it all on one. It's both sides. So now all of a sudden, now, it's like, why is it that this, that, and the other? Now, the both insecurities now could be start coming out on both sides. And now all of a sudden, I'm changing my expectations. Now all of a sudden, well, baby, you don't have to give me a Friday night. Give me 2 months. What happens when that starts changing? But you see what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, in most of the cases, we are not letting the true us show. And a lot of times, the expectations that we do have are false. Nobody can live up to it. But remember, you got false, and then you got, and I think Marcus said this, there could be falseness even in the things that you call positive. Because now, am I really secure, or am I proud? And when I say proud, am I so proud that I'm arrogant? Ooh. And could my arrogance and my dominance begin to show now? And now she's done been through a relationship with somebody else who was dominant. And now all of a sudden, she noticed some different things in you. And even though, yes, it was all trusting and it was all, I give you this, now all of a sudden, there's a backpedal, right? But again, remember, the dominance could have happened in hers is because that's what she could have projected up front. I want a man's man. I want a man to do this for me. I want a man to do that for me. I want a man to do this for me. And so now, basically, what if we're not careful, we would feed into somebody's insecurities because we think that that's what we really want. And now when they start acting the part, that is not what I wanted. But that's what you projected. So now, you made up in your mind that this is what you want, and now you got it, and don't realize that when you get just that part, you get more than one part. And you remember, his arrogance can be literally a part of his, I'm not so good, but I'm better than her. Or I'm better than this. Or I'm better than that. Or I'm better than the next man. Which means that in many cases, notice this, brothers and sisters, sometimes we get with people and they stop telling us about who they used to be with, what happens to us? And we're going to make sure that we're not that person. Or we're going to be better than that person. Baby, I ain't going to do that to you. Right? I ain't going to do that to you. Or vice versa. Well, I would never do that to you. But people, I always say this, if you listen to people close enough, they're giving you a message without giving you a message. They tipping you off, but you so struck with certain expectations that are met until you fail to really focus on the signs that they were giving you. Oh, you can go ahead. Sorry.
Pretty much just listening to everything you were saying is like, you touched on a lot of things that, I kind of looking back, I see, what I did, some things that happened, like, in some of my past relationships, like, the girls that I really liked were into the church, and like the whole, what you were saying, like the conflict and having doubt. These girls, I would tell them eventually, you know, I always felt that you were too good for me. Something about you that I felt were too good. And it's usually the girls that were in church. And you said something about, you know, things that happened to you when you were younger that could affect you. And when I think about it, when I was younger, there's some hurt too danger. So those girls are in church. They were trying to get them off of the church.
That's it. And people, can you imagine? That is the hidden part of him that nobody else knows, and you don't tell everybody that. And the reason why you don't tell is because I'm not proud of it, and as a result of it, in some cases, I'm even shaped by it. When you said something about the young lady who chose abusive relationships, I grant you, if you look further enough in her past, there are some things that have happened to her on certain levels that she's constantly drawn to. I grant you.
You say that she could have been abused?
She could have either been abused or didn't feel that she was good enough for the good person, so I choose the abusive person because that's a representation of who I really am.
Yeah, but that's, in just like we're talking about in relationships, it's dangerous to go into a relationship until you get to the point where you actually like you. Because if you don't like you, you're going to always doubt that someone else is going to like you because there's something about yourself you don't like. And that in turn makes for broken relationships.
Yes.
So I have this tendency, please forgive me, I'm just me, right up front. Sometimes I'm loud, opinionated. I don't try to act stupid because I'm not. And if I have a conversation, I don't, for the most part, I just try to get it right out in the first part. If you can deal with the fact that I speak the way I do about the things that I speak, and then you can deal with that, and we're okay, like after 4 weeks or maybe 5 weeks, we might be able to have more conversations. But when I see that, if I put it up front, you tend to see a man who may not be willing to grow to those conversations or to grow to that position to where you are, right up front. And it's easier. You can just be friends. But you just have to be willing to be honest with yourself about how you feel about you.
Exactly. That's true.